What would be the obstacles in your way?
Maybe just a fear of success.
Yeah, just fear of being too good. I just don't want to, be so much better than everyone else. They just quit and cry.
I feel like mediocrity is safe.
Yeah. And I like being safe.
Safe feels good, but sometimes I question whether or not mediocrity is actually good for me.
Why?
Well, being mediocre feels safe, but at the same time, each day I wake up, I look in the mirror, and I feel like something's missing in my life.
An inner emptiness that if only there was someone to guide us or some karmic justice in the world that would...
Or at least some kind of business mentor for fitness.
that would be able to help us just... Because we're struggling out here. It's hard in these streets, okay?
It's hard in these streets.
Yeah, it's, being legit, trying to provide good content, good value. That is, what matters, Eric?
What?
Eric, you know what matters?
What matters, Omar?
Abs.
You got abs? Is that this? Well, I've always thought I could get abs. But I couldn't figure out that one weird trick.
The weird trick is the thing, because it's weird. Like you're not thinking about it, and you're thinking to yourself, like, oh, hard work, dedication, consistency, maybe following, like a intelligent training program. No.
Well, the thing is that the problem is that there's an active conspiracy to suppress the tricks.
A malevolent force.
Not even. It's not a force. It's doctors and trainers. They hate these tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard doctors and trainers hate you,
and they hate him.
Yeah.
Him being me.
Him being me. Sometimes I speak in third person. But we're just here to provide insane value to everyone. That's the key. We got to use the marketing buzzwords, Eric. I'm going to, I look up to you. You're someone that's very intelligent, provided a lot of great information along the way, evidence-based, as we like to say.
I'm a disruptor.
Yeah, you're a disruptor. But I'm going to teach you how to be savvy at marketing. And what I mean when I say that, there's 3 steps, basically, that I'm going to want you to do. 1, take off your shirt.
Okay.
Just keep it off.
So no shirt.
Yeah. So shirt's off, right?
Shirt's off.
Yeah. That's step number 1.
Can I write this down?
No, you need to internalize it in your soul. So if you could just repeat the mantra. 1, shirt's off.
Shirt's off.
2. I don't know.
I don't know.
3.
Is that the mantra? I have to repeat, I don't know?
Yeah. 3. We don't know what comes next. 3. You make a lot of money. You sell a program.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something that happens in that 2. I don't know. Oh, sorry. I got it. 1, be shirtless all the time. 2, post photos being shirtless all the time.
Done.
Talking about the lifestyle. Capital T for the.
Done.
For the lifestyle. Cool?
Yep.
3, sell a program about said lifestyle. Use ab photos. Pivot. We're going to call it pivot. Okay. Pivot from, so you have your audience, you're growing your audience, and then you're just going to pivot it slightly and market them your lifestyle.
Nice. So the program is actually not about how I got the abs.
No.
So the program's like, wake up.
Sell the features, don't sell the car, Eric.
Get in your Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Drink coffee on the balcony as you look out over a sunset.
Yeah, see, Eric, it's...
And then in the background, you can see that there's a couple of hot chicks in your bed.
Yeah, like you could pay for them, but you just don't mention that fact.
Well, yeah. Well, let's be honest. They say they're doing it for the money, but it's probably my abs.
Yeah, they're actually, I say I paid for them, but I know they're here for me.
You got to let them save face.
Yeah, and that's like you...
Prostitutes are all about saving face.
Saving face. Yeah, it just...
Not that they're prostitutes.
No, ladies of the night?
No, I'm just saying...
People of the night.
I'm just saying...
We could have some male prostitutes too. I mean,
absolutely.
We probably want to hit as many demographics as we can, is what I would say.
So I thought the whole fitness marketing thing was more about like kind of doing the whole like alpha male.
Yeah. No, you have to assert dominance. And so you need to sell, so that's another interesting. So there's many programs. Guys, this is the Marketing Fitness Podcast you've all been waiting for. We're just giving away value. There'll be some sort of, webinar you can sign up for at some point in the future. We don't know when, but just listening, you'll learn a lot.
It's only a couple $100. Well, what is it valued at?
It was originally valued at around $8,000. But we're selling it for $20 because we just believe you need this value right now, right?
And as they say, if you give the value, the money will come.
The money will come. Yeah.
If you build it,
they will come.
You
feel the dreams.
Yes.
Kevin Costner, R.I.P. He's still alive, but like, in our hearts.
R.I.P. as far as his career.
yeah. His career is definitely R.I.P. Yeah, so there's many things we could do. Like when you spoke about Rarries, or Lamborghinis, it's not about my Ferrari. What I actually care about is knowledge, books. But what you're actually selling is your lifestyle. Because hey, I have these Ferraris. Don't you want Ferraris? Well, how did I get my Ferraris? Well, I love knowledge. Oh, it's knowledge.
That's right. Ferrari is just a side effect.
Yeah.
And definitely as you pan away from the blurred image of those two ladies who we didn't pay.
Yeah.
But we did pay them. You can see a bookshelf, and it's got many books that intellectuals read.
Yes, the smarts.
Yeah, intellectuals.
Yeah. I'm a thinking person.
Yeah, believe me.
Yeah.
I know it looks like most of the time I was looking at my phone, but when you're not looking at me, which during that time I'm looking at my phone.
Yeah.
When you look away, I'm looking at a book.
Yeah.
And reading the words.
Well, I'm looking at the book. I don't know if I'm reading it. I'll probably read the synopsis somewhere online. And then say I read the book, and that's how I read 100 books a year. But it's the same thing.
I use the books to remind me of which synopses. Synopsises?
Yeah.
That's the plural, right?
Synopsisize.
Synopses.
Synopolis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To remind me that I read the book. The synopsis.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Well, we could go another way. We could, if you're tired of having sand kicked in your face, guys, we're going to have a great alpha product for you of just asserting dominance over your fellow man. It's going to be hyper masculine.
That's right.
I think we're going to call it, what did we say? Dude Ranch? It's going to be called? Dude Ranch.
I remember that.
Yeah. Hyper masculine, no women allowed. It'll just be just videos of a couple shirtless guys.
What's more masculine than a bunch of guys together, rock hard?
Yeah, rock hard.
With their physiques.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
And wearing as little clothing as possible so you can see the fact that they have masculine bodies.
Yeah.
You know they're men because you can see it all.
Yeah.
And they're rock hard.
Rock hard all
in
over.
their muscles.
Right.
And they're together. And so anytime, and you assert dominance over the rest of the pack.
Yes.
Right? So that means they're gonna roll over on their back and they're rock hard.
Yeah.
Their muscles.
Their muscles.
And they're just gonna show you their neck or their belly, and then you can just
whatever,
assert dominance over them because you've proven to be alpha.
Yeah, biology.
Now, what is more masculine
than that?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm trying to figure out because Eric, here's the interesting part, bro. Some would say if you're trying to market how to be alpha, it's like, well, isn't there only one alpha? Like in a pack, there's the alpha, and then there's everyone else that follows the alpha, or there's the prima, like there's the person on top of that, or we could talk about in the wild, the apex predator, where there has to be some sort of hierarchy. There could only be one person at the top or a few. So how would you market, Eric, a product on becoming, alpha,
right,
to the masses? Because if everyone's alpha, then no one's alpha.
Well, I think you have to start with the documentary Highlander.
Yeah, based on a true story.
Yeah. It's not even based.
Sorry, it's a true story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the show was based on a true story, but the actual documentary is the movie.
Yeah.
I think if you follow that, you can understand that there can only be one.
Yeah.
But truly, it's representative that one is inside all of us.
Yeah. The one ring to rule them all.
That's a different movie.
Oh, Eric, my favorite was when Sean Connery said about Scotland, even though Sean's Welsh. Yeah.
I don't know.
But he said, "Tell me of this land of Scotland, for I know not of its ways." Like he said it like that. And he was supposed to be Spanish. And the guy who's supposed to be Scottish, I think he's French. I forget the guy. Like he is not from Scotland.
Yeah.
And his accent clearly doesn't sound Scottish. And then there's Sean Connery sounding, for all intents and purposes, pretty Scottish.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "I know not of this land." I'm like, guy, this is.
Yeah. It's like, are you guys doing this on purpose?
Yeah. Like the director after that take, it's like, really? No one saw that?
Did they switch their scripts? Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Sean Connery. He said some interesting things over time. He used to compete in bodybuilding.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think of his physique? When you said, for the time, obviously.
It was mid-tier.
Mid-tier.
Mid-tier, yeah.
And he said, "Fuck this shit, I'll never be good. I'm going to become an actor."
He was like, I'm not going to become Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I'm no Frank Zane.
Yeah.
He said, I'm no Chet Jordan.
Yeah. Ooh, going deep.
I need to pivot.
Yeah.
That's right.
This whole acting thing, Hollywood, maybe it's for me.
He did all right.
He's fine.
Yeah.
You may have seen one of his indie movies, James Bond.
Yeah, the 008?
7.
Seven.
Yeah. It's a European film. Not many people have probably seen it. Yeah.
Right.
I want to say
first entry into Sundance, actually.
Yeah. Got in, didn't win it, but got a standing ovation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, Sundance these days is really, it's not really indie.
It's a wank fest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's what do we call it? The Mutual Admiration Society.
Yeah.
They don't understand true art.
I used to follow Sundance before it was cool. Yeah.
And then when it became cool,
well, it just got watered down, I think.
Yeah. For the masses. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we're talking about when we talk about fitness products and just trying to provide value for individuals, right? There's so many people just trying to say like, hey, eat consistently, track your macros, progressively overload. And it's like, cool, whatever. Yeah, I get it. But what's the essence of fitness?
I know. It's not those gimmicks.
Hating yourself.
Absolutely.
And we're here to pivot that. Welcome to the world's best, worst podcast. I'm joined by the one and only doctor, like a true doctor, not like a TV doctor, like an actual doctor.
If by true doctor you mean definitely not an MD, then yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you some medical questions in a bit.
You have cancer.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so. I just felt a general malaise in my soul, but good to know it's cancer.
Well, it's cancer of your existentialist internalism.
Yeah. That makes more sense. So
those two words don't make any sense together, but I said them.
Yeah. And you're a doctor.
And I'm a doctor.
And you're a doctor.
So it's right.
The one and only Dr. Eric Helms, back on the podcast, back on Mama's Boys. For those that don't know, Eric, once again, he is evidence-based, which means for the longest time, he's been providing really good content when it comes to nutrition, lifting, programming. He also is one of the founders of 3DMJ, which is pretty much the premier natural bodybuilding coaching group that you guys do. You've been highly influential. We had a previous podcast going over the history of Eric. Who is Eric? And by the end of it, we found out that everyone has a little bit of Eric in them,
Yep.
Yeah.
And Barbara, if you're listening, that is meant figuratively.
Figuratively. I love you, Barb. What he wanted to say. And so you've been in this industry. You've really changed it for the better. And so we're here today just
I hope so.
Talking shit, doing what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And
just undoing all that good work.
Yeah, undoing all that good work. So I think because there's always that one person. I made that creatine video and they're like, are you like, wait, what? Is this a serious video? I'm like, what? No, it's not serious.
We need those people though.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you how much I enjoy when I say a witty joke and actually the person doesn't get it.
Oh.
To me, that's better.
Oh, I may have had that happen to me.
Never.
Never.
You're much too clever.
No, I caught on to everything. Speaking of Eric, he's working with us on a project for Kaizen, a nutrition product, nutrition for lifters. This podcast is sponsored by Kaizen. Kaizen was started by myself, Sound Mike, Bart Kwan. The goal was to provide effective, affordable training programs, whether your goals to build muscle, lose fat, or get stronger. We got you covered. Go to www.kaizen, training.com. Eric? Hey, what's some of your favorite movies from the 80s? Because you mentioned Highlander, which I watched again, and I do like at the end where it's like, there could only be one. And the ending scene's cool. There's a lot of cool stuff. I was like, I like some other 80s movies. Like we spoke about Ghostbusters. It's a badass movie.
That's one of the best.
Yeah.
Truly.
You can really rewatch it, which I love.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters is a classic. I think Terminator 1 came out in 84. Personally,
yeah,
I think it's better than Terminator 2.
You said that. I picked Terminator. They're both excellent. They're both
true.
Top tier. So
I think it's one of those things that you just can't understand how much it's standing on the shoulders of the other. But yeah, it's also interesting. Like my dad was talking about how he saw it in theaters and how it was marketed in a way where you never see that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a cyborg.
Yeah.
They never show any clips of that. So when you first went into the movie, you actually don't know which one of them, either Reese Kyle or the Terminator, is actually the bad guy. It looks like this some crazy dude.
Yeah.
Because they both appear in the thing, and
as you said,
they're both beating up cops at the start.
And they do the exact same thing. I think Terminator 2, I don't want to call it a remake of Terminator 1. It's highly influenced where they do the exact same thing where you don't know until 20 minutes in who's good and who's bad, which is really interesting. We spoke about that when we both got emotionally scarred for the rest of our life watching that movie Hereditary, which is an excellent movie.
Yeah.
But the untrustworthy kind of narrator or main protagonist, which just makes everything, you question everything that occurs, which is really cool because then I think that because you have to start thinking more, then that makes you more involved in the movie rather than just being, you're a silent observer that has no interest. You're trying to figure things out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another one I really like is the documentary of that sociopath, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Oh, yeah. That's a classic.
The sociopath, yeah. He gets his way all the time. His sister's the only sane one trying to point out, like, does anyone realize that he's basically manipulating everyone?
Yeah, and he's truly collapsing the lives of everyone around him. His friend, destroys the car of his father.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Yeah. His girlfriend is just like subservient to him, where he he does whatever he wants. It's like, it's cool because it's Ferris Bueller. Everybody loves Ferris. The principal's just trying to create order and have a school that functions as it should, where people try and excel at academics. And Ferris is undermining that. So, of course, he's trying to get to the root of the problem. But Ferris, once again, outwits him.
Absolutely.
He goes into a fancy art museum and disrespects art. Yeah, he's kind of just a scoundrel.
He's an anti-intellectual.
That's really what he is. He would probably be shot in previous times. Strung up by the scruff of his neck and just,
No, he wouldn't have survived the Bolshevik Revolution, that's for sure.
That's probably for sure. Yeah, you saw his expensive, probably capitalist leopard vest. That wouldn't have flew.
Very extravagant.
Now, with that being said,
or what if he has worked his way around it and become basically Stalin without the mustache?
Right. Yeah, it's like, I'm all about this communism, but I like nice things. You know what
Absolutely. Manipulating everyone around him.
Yeah. I was going to say that I did use something from Ferris. I think I told you this. I did not want to go in grade 10 on this trip to Algonquin Park. It's like a retreat. My buddy couldn't go because he's deathly allergic to peanuts. And so I did the thing where I licked my palms, like in Ferris Bueller, and I just acted real sick, and I made my parents take me to the doctor. And the doctor, just the way I acted, he took my temperature, and he's like, well, your temperature's within normal, but there's a lot of symptoms you're reporting here that definitely, you're under the weather. Yeah, here's a note. You don't have to go. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
So thanks, Ferris.
Yeah, you've helped many children lose their education.
Yeah, and I don't regret a single second of it. Too busy playing Smash Bros. You know what I'm saying?
Great game.
Yeah, I just don't trust anyone that plays the character Donkey Kong,
Well, if you don't want to trust the soul of the game, that's fine.
Wow. Soul of the game.
Absolutely.
Now, is that a hyper-masculine thing on your part, choosing Donkey Kong? Both you told me in Smash and in Mario Kart?
I don't understand why you think Donkey Kong is masculine. It's not even
because he wears a tie, and that's a sign
even the
of
same
his control.
It's not even the same species.
Oh, you're trying to say he's not human?
Are you against animal rights?
Oh, I beat Donkey Kong down.
Wow.
Okay? With Fox McCloud, who's a space animal, which is on the hierarchy of animals, a superior animal.
Oh, wow. So you believe in social Darwinism?
All the way when it comes to Smash Brothers. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, yeah. No, Fox McCloud is superior. He has lasers. Okay. He flies a ship. Donkey Kong eats fucking bananas, bro.
So you're saying that a ape on an island with literally no weapons except for a red tie can hang with a guy who has a TIE fighter and a laser beam. Yeah, I would agree with that. Don't need any of that shit.
So he just relies on his
natural strength.
Oh, natural strength.
Yes. You heard it here. Donkey Kong is natty.
Is natty. Well, let's do a natty or not for just some of the characters of Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers?
Yeah, so Bowser has a big shell. Probably Donkey Kong would be the person that most people would accuse. You know who is secretly on Smash Brothers? Luigi. He's that guy.
Yeah, actually, Luigi runs natty or not.
Luigi.
He's on so much.
Yeah.
He's made no gains that he can't understand how anyone else can make progress. So he's just started natty or not.
And he uncovers shadow pinners, and he does he's jealous of, obviously, his brother Mario, who has the attractive wife, Peach.
And that natural short height.
Yeah.
A little bit endomorphic, but mesomorphic build.
Yeah. Luigi's just that classic hard gainer, ectomorph physique, right? We're seeing a lot here now. Now,
yep.
A lot of tension. Mario kind of teaches you a lot of things about life, I feel, right?
Absolutely.
Don't depend on your family. They'll only let you down. You can only depend on yourself, right, in this world. And that women are unreliable. Yeah. Princess Peach, did she run away? Was she captured or did she run away?
Well, the real question is, because you get your first mushroom so early in the game.
There's so many moral questions.
How do you know that's all real?
Wow.
He was probably just in some kind of LSD-induced dream.
And the unreliable narrator, as we're
And
saying.
again, bringing it full circle.
It happens every single time.
Absolutely.
Oh, don't worry, Eric. I'll go off on tangents and then I come right back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm kind of like that in that movie Up, where the dog says squirrel.
Yes.
And was saying something, and then we'll resume saying it.
Yeah.
Same. Similar IQ. And we're floating around the same IQ.
I'd say that's true.
Yeah. Largely true. I like I'm not going to name the individual, but where people put, a big importance on certain things, where someone overestimated their IQ that I know by 40 points when they took a test. That's huge.
I mean, that's pretty the normal. That's like the normal standard error.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of body fat percentages for guys. On 12%, it's like you're 22%.
Could be anywhere as high as obese.
Yeah. Can you see any abs? It's like, yeah. So I have abs still. I just like, in general, I can't breathe when I walk upstairs. I have a double chin, which is weird because I still have abs. It's like, those aren't abs.
It's in the shape of abs.
Yes.
Yeah.
The general shape.
It isn't the right. It's the same place where abs would be.
Yeah, but
your stomach.
They're not. But they're not there.
No.
Now, let me ask you something, Eric, just about fitness for a second, because you've been around the fitness industry for a long time and you've seen a lot of different things. Would you say in your evaluation, ask you one serious question for this podcast, would you say that the overall direction of the fitness industry is going in the right direction, is headed in the right way? Because you've been around, back when bodybuilders were talking all about tilapia, thinning the skin, people focusing on high reps, not getting stronger. Really, you competed in your first, you said powerlifting meet where, single ply, not that there's anything wrong with multiply or single ply or anything, but like where raw lifting wasn't the mainstream. From all the way when you started lifting to now, would you say the overall trajectory of lifting and fitness has improved, or are there, the more you get into something, the more critical you become because you love it that much. And that's why I think the where people joke about a hipster, it's like, my beloved Habibi mentioned just a game, and I did feel bad because I spoke some shit about Uncharted that was, in an absolute sense unwarranted. I was picking it apart because it's not my game. But yeah, what do you think about the fitness industry in the general arc?
I think if you look at it from a perspective of how accepted or respected or included science is, things have gotten better. But I think that's a very narrow view, because we're hanging out in the whole hashtag science crew.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, oh, we've done it, but I think there's still a lot of problems that are actually worse than they were if you look way back in the history of fitness.
Dude, break it down. I'm all ears. Like, what are some things that you see now maybe that you don't like?
I think a lot of people don't understand why.
Yeah.
Or like we've gotten better at how, but I think a lot of people still lose themselves in fitness, and it becomes something very easily destructive because it's all about comparing yourself to others now.
Yeah.
And who is this? Who is that? Call outs. Like that stuff's always been there. I think social media just provides a platform for it. And there's still also a lot of great stuff on social media. But I think there's very few people who have popularized or have effectively discussed looking into the true why behind what you're doing and having it be sustainable. And so that you're not just kind of a fair weather fan of fitness, because it's not, it is a hobby. It is fun, all this stuff. And I think that should be promoted. But truly it's something that can benefit you in a lot deeper ways and for a lifetime.
Wait. We're supposed to be doing this for a lifetime?
Exactly.
Oh, no. I'm in for 3 years. I want to get abs and then I'm out, bro.
I think that's a good perspective.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's actually representative of the way many influencers talk about fitness, even when they have the right intentions.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the thing that hasn't changed visibly at all, except for getting a little worse compared to when it was, say, like called the physical culture in the early 1900s into, like, say, 30s and 40s, even, when it was like, hey, this is something we do. We value, these things. And I think people have trouble, like, it's very siloed at the moment, fitness. And it's only getting more siloed. Like, there's these different clans and cliques based on what type of diet you follow or what type of training you prescribe to, or whether you compete in a certain sport or not, without really fully understanding just how similar the underlying goal will eventually become if you stick with it.
Sure.
I think most people who have been in any of those silos for a long time, they start to appreciate other sides of other things. Like, here's an example. We're just talking about this off air a little while ago. CrossFit is becoming less of just the whipping boy of lifting sports.
Yeah.
It's getting made fun of less and less and less. And it's like, oh, people are actually following periodized programs. Yeah. And, it's become a lot more advanced. It's been around for a while. They're less tribal.
Yep.
And I guess the powerlifting and weightlifting and bodybuilding community is less judgmental and territorial. So I think some of it's just time, but I think still there's just not much awareness or discussion of thinking about the why do you do this and the deeper meaning and looking at it as longevity. And not just, people will talk about longevity and long-term commitment from a general pop perspective. Like, look, this is a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
But then with like bodybuilding and powerlifting, they're very much like, get jacked and big and all the stuff like right now.
You must get huge or your life has no validation.
Yeah. And I think there's one thing to compete, but I've met people who have literally competed at the top of their sport. This less often occurs with bodybuilding, but in my experience, I've met some weightlifters who got to a very, very high level and then they retired.
Yeah.
And they don't train anymore.
Yeah.
And it's very sad to see that, they probably I'm thinking of a few people, they got into it at a very young age, they enjoyed it and they did it for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And then once it became this purely competitive sport for them, it was kind of this like vindictive, talk shit, like wish ill on others that you can do well, like this kind of zero-sum game, and then there's no point to doing it anymore. It's just this thing I did. And that's when you see athletes really lose themselves. And I think that's just a really destructive thing that some lifters do to themselves. Mm-hmm. It's not nearly as prevalent in the powerlifting community, which I appreciate, but I do see it to some degree in bodybuilding and also to some degree in weightlifting, which I'm not a huge part of that community. I'm not going to say a blanket statement there, but I think from athletics in general, you really need to look at it as it's a vehicle to express your interest in physical culture, and that you're specializing in that for now while you can and competing. But you've got to have like an exit strategy, and there should be a deeper appreciation, because you can't just completely lose your happiness as soon as you can't compete anymore.
Now, here's a question for you. Would you say that these are just growing pains? So like you said, the early 1900s, we take a look at the amount of people that were lifting 100 years ago compared to now, that as something gets bigger, kind of that indie band making it and going mainstream, where it loses some of the core essence of what it was about. These are just growing pains that come naturally? Or do you think that social media itself has influenced the way people regard fitness? Is it marketing? Like, what do you think is the cause for some of these changes in the perception of fitness?
I think when things go mainstream, their message has to broaden.
Yeah.
And the core of what they are, it can't stay the same. And a lot of people are like, that's why I hate when shit is not underground anymore. Like, so I'm definitely not advocating for this need to be go underground again, because it won't, purely. And I'm definitely not advocating for we need to go back in time. I think it needs to keep evolving. It's just that when things become more mainstream and people aren't aware of the roots of something, they're going to go through the same like pitfalls that already occurred, and then express them in a different way, and then publicly on social media. So I do think there's going to be some growing pains here. I think also a lot of the influencers right now in this current age are very young.
Yeah.
And one of two things happens. Either they blow up and then they just disappear, which is, we've seen a ton of times happen.
Yeah.
And that means that, that you never see their own evolution. They evolve sometimes out of fitness or out of wanting to be public, which is fine. But the unfortunate part of that is that you don't get that, the influencer who's talking about their growth and their maturity. You don't see people mature very much in the fitness industry.
Because kind of when they do mature, maybe they do it, as you said, off camera. Where
Absolutely.
The reasons why they got into fitness were, maybe to be on social media, to be known. And then as they discover a little bit more about themselves, as they don't require that validation from social media, they turn away from it. And so you can't see that growth that's occurring within them.
Absolutely. They finally realize and look back like, oh, I actually had a pretty shitty relationship with social media. I said I'm doing this for business purposes and I'm disconnected from it. But in many ways, I'm like, my validation comes from it. Like, I've hung out with a lot of people who have huge followings.
Yeah.
And some of them never put their phones down.
Yeah.
Like, even when they're supposed to be connecting with me.
Yeah.
And I've hung out with other people, and I include you in this, where there's some work we do. We have a schedule. We get shit done.
Yeah.
But then when we're not doing that, like, we went to dinner and neither one of us brought our phone,
It was very nice. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a special time.
Absolutely. I brought my laptop and I didn't look at Elmore the whole time, but not my phone.
The phone is the thing that if you have your phone on all the time, that's rude. But your laptop, bro, that's business.
Absolutely. No. So I didn't bring my laptop. My point is that I think a lot of people, they have a really tough time disconnecting their online persona from themselves. And I'm not saying that you need to be fake online.
Yeah.
But I think you just need to be very intentional and realize, okay, here's what I'm trying to accomplish. Here's why I'm talking to an audience. And I'm going to use social media as a platform to get that message across, not as a way to feel more validated, compare myself to others, et cetera, et cetera. So I definitely, like, how many times have you asked me about, hey, do you know this person? I'm like, no, I don't.
No. Do you know this really big person on social media when it comes to fitness? You're like, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I do follow some people.
Yeah.
I think I follow a number of people who are in line with the multiple directions I'm going. So, for example, I pay attention to like you and Jeff Nippert on YouTube, because that's really the type of people who consume YouTube comment would be the people who would follow both of you.
Yeah.
I definitely follow like many of my like contemporaries and kind of the evidence-based content producers. Yeah. And then I stepped in
and so forth.
Yeah. All the good names. Yeah, exactly. You know, Louis Simmons, Paula Quinn, Mercola, you know, all the good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then in like the competitive world, I definitely follow like IPF lifters and natural bodybuilders and things like that, because that is the very small niche that I'm trying to make a difference in. So I think but that's still intentional once again. So yeah, I think as social media gets older and as more influencers stick around, I think even your content, although it's been very pure and you've evolved with it.
Yeah.
And I think it's only gotten better. And that's something really good to see.
Because you were featured in it recently? Is that what you're trying to say?
It's gotten so much better in the last 6 days.
Yeah, the 6 days has taken a monumental leap in quality.
Well, actually, what I wanted to segue to was my assumption of the average age of your followers.
Oh, yeah.
And how I was totally wrong.
Yeah.
How I assumed it was like, what did I say, 18 to 24?
Yeah.
And it was actually
24 to 32.
And if you think about it, you came out in 09 or 2010?
2009.
2009. So if you just take off 9 years from now, that was the old age demographic.
Sure.
So to me, that says that you've kept your audience and they've matured with you and they followed you. So the reason why you have that age group is because you've carried the same people for a long time, which I think really speaks to your integrity.
Stop it.
And just your awesomeness.
No, we're about to sell out right now. That's why I actually brought you here.
So detox teas.
Detox teas are the future. Eric, how would you like to invest in a timeshare?
Well, what does it involve, Omar?
Nothing. None of your time. So you would just own some time in a location of a place alongside a lot of other people. But you never own the place, but you would own the time that you're there. It's a share of time of the property, but you don't own any of the property.
So what do I actually have?
Your life, your experiences that you get there, which are, as we know, invaluable. You can't calculate their value.
But how much does it cost?
Well, it's 10 easy payments of $99.99, and that's $9,999.
So you literally just calculated the cost.
The cost that you have to pay, what you get in return, the value. So, Eric, don't get cost and value confused.
Right. They're completely separate.
Two different words, which means they're completely different.
I've seen you take an economics class.
Bad and terrible, two separate words. Mm-hmm. They don't mean similar things. You know? Two separate words. Why would we have different words if it meant the exact same thing?
I have no idea.
See what I'm saying? And that's where people get you. Online. Okay. Mm-hmm. They try and give good information. I'm like, yeah, but how do I get your body? You know,
right.
What's the weird trick? Because I've tried everything.
That's right.
I've gone to the gym 3 times in total for my life.
Not per week.
No, 3 times total for my life. Mm-hmm. And I just have not gotten the physique I want.
I'm sure if you just hop on gear, it is magic and you'll look like them. And they're all secretly on gear.
Yes. Every single person online is on steroids. The women, the men, the children, especially the children. The children are honestly the most guilty.
Yeah, it's the people you'd never expect.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I actually, fun fact.
Like the lack of proof proves there's proof.
Yes. I was going to say it was kind of incredible. I did know someone, this would be 6 years ago, at a gym I used to go to, where I don't know what happens to some of these guys, where obviously they're not about fitness as a lifestyle, as we say here. There's a trainer. The trainer was enhanced. The guy went on steroids, and instead of training then consistently, because he was training with the trainer, he just started doing cardio. I swear to God. And he was 70 pounds overweight, took steroids, just did cardio, and that's it. And he was open about it in the locker room. And I was just thinking to myself, like, what are you doing? But that's so many people. Like I think there are people that are enhanced that people don't know about that look terrible, and then people that are natural that people would think are enhanced that aren't. I think it's funny.
I think there's some fake enhanced out there.
Yeah, fake enhanced. It's like, man, come on. I know you say you're enhanced. There's no way you're enhanced. Like, come on, you're just
trying to be part of the quote unquote steroid culture that you're not a part of.
You're clearly not a part of, because your physique is so mediocre that if you were on steroids, you would probably have no choice but to, I don't want to say kill yourself, because that's really a harsh judgment and that's quite sad. But just take a good hard look at yourself and make some changes, because what would it mean if you're enhanced and you still don't have a good physique after all the years of training?
I'm so sad right now, but it's not for any reason that you just said.
No, it's the lingering existential dread I'm still feeling
from Hereditary.
What is, Eric, the most unsettling movie you've seen in your life?
Honestly, it's Hereditary.
And that will forever have that. See, shared trauma makes people grow closer together.
I would agree. And
that was my goal with you. You didn't know, much like how they didn't know what was going on. I knew from the show, like, this is going to scar Eric.
It's actually the fourth time you've seen it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, what? That's so weird.
Man, who knew that was going to happen?
Yeah.
So before that movie, what was the movie that scarred you more than any other?
Well, can we include childhood? Because there's several.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So I would say 3. You actually mentioned one, and I was like, damn, you're a bro. And 2 out of our 3 are similar, which is weird, which I don't believe that there's something inherent within them that, like, every kid that watches them, they'll find it extremely unsettling. I think it could just be, wrong age to watch some of that content. So, like, any kid.
Just bad parenting, really.
Yeah. I like, shout out to the parents. No, shout out actually to Jenny, if she's listening. That was a classmate of mine. She was part of that family. My parents were like, so I watched Terminator when I was 3, but I was fine. I loved it. It was a great movie.
That explains so much.
Why I just tell them, say I'm, a cybernetic organism, living tissue over exoskeleton. Oh, God,
Endoskeleton.
Thanks.
But you did great with that.
Yeah, it flew right off the tongue.
It was pretty much word for word.
Well, it's kind of how Arnold said it, right?
I'm not a cyborg. What is it?
Cybernetic organism.
Living tissue over an
endomorph body.
I'll be back.
Get out of here. But Jenny was part of a family which let her do whatever she wanted. And now I see the dangers in that, because we were 6 years old, 6 years old, and we watched the first one that scarred me was It. Which we were the perfect age where clowns already are they're unsettling. And we watched that. That straight up, I couldn't go to sleep that night. It took several days. That's 1. 2, you mentioned a Carnosaur. I finally found out the name of it. It's so bloody. The guy with the stomach. I didn't know what it was called until you mentioned that. That was just on TV in the basement where we didn't tell our parents what we were watching. 2, and then the third one would be probably, as you listed, Event Horizon. When I was like 8 or whatever, it came out, or it had been out for a while.
A young age to see Event Horizon, man.
Oh yeah, that was not so we had. So basically, what it was, we figured out our parents the passcode to use the movie box or whatever, because there's a super simple password,
password.
Yeah, it was the password was password. And so we would watch stuff in the basement without telling them. So we saw some inappropriate stuff when it comes to horror. But I also remember a legendary movie, which I'll never forget, called Bordello of Blood, Tales from the Crypt.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh man, I'm like, this is amazing. This is why I will watch everything on here. But those 3, probably as a kid. And then as an adult, getting unsettled, I'd say It Follows was just so good. It got stuck in my head. And then maybe one more. There's a few that I watched where I thought, wow, that's really cool. Like Prince of Darkness has a very cool idea. I don't traditionally like, if it's a Christian satanic, which has been to me not overplayed, but I've seen it so often.
Sure,
it kind of normalizes a bit.
Omen.
Yeah. And so anything that's a little different is cool. You got Unsettled. I know you said by Hereditary. We were all talking about it.
Yeah. Hereditary, Event Horizon, Carnosaur. I still have memory of that. There's another scene in I think it's Exorcist 3.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a legendary scene. You told me that scene, and I knew immediately. Because I don't remember anything about that movie.
Literally nothing.
Yeah,
just where you're looking down the hallway, and then the nurse or the nun, I can't remember which because I was super young.
Nun, honestly, probably
a nun nurse. Yeah, walks across, and then there's a mental patient with a sheet over his head, so you shouldn't be able to see. Walking with garden shears at neck level right behind her, and she doesn't know he's there. This is a really brief flash.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll add one more. Poltergeist 2, which I told you about. There's one scene that's unsettling. That again, actually, that was my babysitter's fault. If I could blame that one.
Tammy on blast.
Tammy, you fucked up. But actually, another babysitter. Speaking of the too young to see shit, but I mean, I don't care. That's those ones are fine. The one that I am thankful for seeing was actually the movie Species. So good.
That's a terrible movie, but I liked it so much when I was young.
Oh, as a kid, I'm like, you are so hot. There's my brother and I literally came up with a saying. And I think it's just part of being maybe a guy where if we go all the way back to Homer, if there was one figure called Homer that wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey.
We've all seen The Simpsons,
Yeah. He is just a literary, titan.
Mm-hmm.
In his, how would we say, epic, truly, the Odyssey, with a lot of things going on. There were the harpies. There was the seductress, like where they would play the music, seduce you, and like kind of kill you, whatever.
The siren.
The siren. Thank you. That's been around for a long period of time. And there's
also the succubus.
Yeah. See, it's consistent. And if you want to say another movie, in Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola, his one where they have that scene. Is it Coppola?
I don't know. I'm just being a dick.
Yeah, no, I believe it's pronounced Coca-Cola.
It's Dracula.
It's
a vampire.
Vampire. But the women, once again, suck not only your penis, but they suck your blood. And so in that movie, they don't show the pee-pee, but yeah, it's implied.
It's the subtext.
It's implied. It's real. But I was going to say that in this movie, what's so crazy with Species, that's where my brother came up with the saying, you just better deliver the goods. Because like, I don't know if they knew they were going to die, but it's like, if you know you're going to die, but like the sex is going to be the best you've ever had, it's like, just deliver the goods and then you can kill me. But it needs to be a 10 out of 10 experience. And then you can kill me. If it's a 6 out of 10, bro, I want my money. No, you can't.
I want my life back.
Yeah, I want my life back. You don't deserve to take my life.
Yeah, you don't get to be the praying mantis unless it's worth it.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, did you watch Buffy, the Vampire Slayer?
The show?
Yeah,
I did.
So season 1 or 2, they had a woman. Dude, what does it teach you? Women are evil. Don't trust them. We need Dude Ranch.
Genderizing is correct.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. We need Dude Ranch. Just hyper masculine guys.
Rock hard
muscles all over
a naked body, because you can tell it's a man if they're naked for no other reason. Yeah, not related to any kind of interest.
But also, we're so comfortable being with one another.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. We're not afraid of it because we know what we are.
Yeah.
Rock hard muscles
all the time. In Buffy, bro, there was an episode that had a woman that was a seductress, and she turned somehow into a praying mantis.
There's no subtext there.
Yeah.
Beating you over the head with it.
Yeah, Josh Whedon was not known for being subtle back then.
It wasn't his style.
Yeah, I know. He said it's all up front in your face.
That's right.
Eric, let me ask you a few more questions here now, if I could.
I'm here.
So you said that was did you say it was traumatic watching her read? No, it was scarring. No, what do you say?
I go with traumatic.
Traumatic.
But maybe not just because I know that actual trauma is a real thing. So respect to those who experience it. In my little world of not being traumatized by, stuff.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not anywhere getting shot.
Yeah. That you know of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, it was, it definitely threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I would say probably more than any other movie. One I was actually thinking of while you were talking. You ever seen The Mist?
The Mist with, made up.
Stephen King?
10 years ago.
Yeah. Wasn't a good movie.
It's unsettling, the ending.
In fact, I actually think it's a bad movie, but it leaves you like
Unsettling.
Like man, that's just shitty. You know? Yeah.
Real dark.
Yeah, very dark.
The movie that I'd list if you just want to become depressed is the movie Pulse, which is a Japanese horror movie. It's a great horror movie. It's more when we spoke about the different parts of what comprises horror.
Right.
It's definitely more on the dark, existential, almost like nihilistic, depressing. So there's horror elements, but it's also just sad.
Yeah, The Mist is super nihilistic.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I need to watch like a Disney movie, Donald Duck, where you at?
Like a lot of them.
Yeah, like back to back to back. Well, the one that we were in, Aladdin.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah, we were, I was the monkey. What were you in that?
I don't remember.
Princess.
So did you see the scene where...
Oh, no.
No, this is a good scene.
Yeah.
This is a good scene. So you see the scene where he asks the genie to make him into the prince, Ali Ababa.
Yeah.
So in second 30 of that scene, I'm extra 6 on the right.
Yeah, no, I how could I forget you?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I was in the area, and they needed a tall person, because it's a crowd. You need to show the
that
depth.
one person. Yeah.
So you need to have short people in front, tall people in back.
Yeah,
So if you looked, you could see like the right upper quadrant of my face.
So you're immortalized forever.
Yeah, I starred in Aladdin.
Yeah, you start. Yeah, that's the way to say it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, here's a question for you, because I would say you are, in general, you have a calm demeanor. You're positive. We've been working a lot, but you've been, consistent in your energy output and your positive outlook, even in the face of, I'll say it's minor adversity, some things that we faced here. I'm not trying to complain, but just like, different situations, like filming late, this and that. Is that something that you cultivated, basically an air of, I can accomplish anything and I'm here to add a net positive to what I do? Or is that just something that's always been a part of you, out of curiosity? Because that I would say that's a more unique trait, where people have different, there's different profiles of individuals, but like you're like almost always just like positive and like ready to go even after being overworked. Because I would say the total amount of work that's been done here has been a high level. I wouldn't say insane, but it's been very high.
I'll say thank you, just overall, because I think that's
for being a friend.
That's cool. Well, and just recognizing like what could be seen as a positive character trait and acknowledging it. It's
good. Only positive. I don't see any negative.
Feels
that
good.
One.
Yeah, I definitely am not a workaholic.
Yeah. What?
Huh?
Huh?
I don't do
to
too much.
Stave off the inner emptiness inside hypermasculine. What?
I definitely don't feel an emptiness if I'm not working all the time.
No, I'm an output machine.
That's.
I'm just an output machine.
Not even input.
Yeah,
just
output. I don't. There's nothing goes in me. I'm empty.
You're just driven by emptiness. It's like a vacuum. It actually has force.
It's a black hole. Yeah, where there's just everyone like, oh, I can't see it. Well, there's something there.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right. So you're fueled by dark matter.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. And I would say it's a combination of a few things. I think, for one, I've always kind of been. Well, I don't know. That's not true. At a certain point in my life, I'd say after maybe adolescence, I became someone who just wasn't fazed by a lot.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like, man, is it cold in here? I'm like, is it hot?
Yeah.
So I think I'm just like, and I mean this in the true meaning of the word, not like the colloquial, like judgmentalism. Like I'm not a very sensitive person.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely very empathetic, but I just mean that I'm not like, I can get by with a little bit of sleep for a while. I can get by with forgetting my jacket and being in a cold environment. You're robust. Yeah. I'm just, shit doesn't bother me that much. Like I'm good, but I wasn't like that when I was a kid. I think that's like a coping method I learned.
Yeah.
Just, I'm good with everything. Even on the inside, I don't even know it. I'm dying. I've suppressed it.
Yeah.
And that's only half a joke. So I think that's just part of it's a character trait that I developed. And I think another part is that I'm just excited to be here. I came here for this purpose. And,
a purpose. I've heard of a book almost called that, A Purpose-Driven Life.
Purpose-driven life. I'd like to think I have one of those.
Yeah. Actually being serious for a second. Yeah. I think if you are fueled by something that excites you, then it's a lot easier to do things. If you have a job you don't like, you're going to get up late. You're going to show up late. You're not going to do a good job at it.
You're going to see what's the minimum amount I can do to not have the boss on my back.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Eric, I want to end with a more serious question, because that was a serious question. We're going even next level, because we're talking about civilization, the future of humanity, interstellar. We never touched on the movie itself, but interstellar travel. Do you think humanity as a whole is going to make it? To that level, because it's
interesting. I think right now, like just statistically, and from a data perspective, things are definitely better. You know, I know it's tough when people want to focus on progress to acknowledge the progress that they made, because part of their fuel for wanting progress is to look at the things that need to be fixed.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that we shouldn't, keep striving to progress society, and meeting injustices where they are. But I think at the same time, we also have to acknowledge that like poverty is way lower, murder rates and crime rates and war rates are down globally.
Yeah.
While we still have, inequality, even in first world nations, it's not like we have anywhere near the way it used to be. I think a lot more doors are open, or at least can be opened. So overall, I think things have gotten better. So historically, the predictor would be, hey, the Enlightenment is working. Things are probably going to keep going that direction. But the places that worry me is that the ability for one person to do harm, both physically, weapons are just more dangerous these days.
Yep.
But more importantly, I think psychologically and socially are so much more magnified.
Yeah.
Like we have people who have, or not even people, like governments or organizations that are able to create a ton of fake accounts on social media to have the appearance of mass social waves, which actually influences people.
Yeah.
Like the political tools these days are to just represent the extreme version of the opposite of what you are. I think the US is a great example where your average center left or center right person thinks that the average person who's on the other side of the center is actually an extremist.
Right.
So there's really no discourse. In general, people tend to have a worsening view of things while the data doesn't back that up. So I'm a little disturbed by the disconnect between the reality, the facts that indeed things are getting better, but there was a news report in 2016 that said, 2016, the worst year ever,
Like the worst year ever, really.
And I'm sure somebody's grandmother who was alive during the Great Depression is going, guys, I don't want to rain on your parade of self-hate, but
the fact that your internet was out for half a day is nothing.
And I also don't want to belittle the problems of today, but I think I would be a little more confident in the things are going the right direction if I could see more people who are able to disconnect the, what I'll just say, propaganda that is around. Not that it's a concerted effort by some controlling big brother, but just the fact that media thrives on controversy.
Yeah.
And the people who, I think that's a really problematic thing, I think just for humanity. So I do get a little concerned about that, but I think we're going to be robust enough to make it for at least a much longer period than I'll be around.
Wow, Eric. So to summarize this podcast, it goes full circle. You know what I'm going to say?
No.
It looks like we're all going to make it.
We are all going to make it.
We're all going to make it. What a beautiful thing to end on, Eric.
I don't know who said that, but I'm sure he made it.
Yeah, I'm sure he made it.
Yeah.
Eric, thanks for you making it here.
I'm happy to be here.
Where can people find you?
You can find me, but more importantly,
find
my
yourself.
People.
Yes.
At 3dmusclejourney.com, where those of us who are interested in the why behind bodybuilding and strength sport, and who think about the big picture, dedication, desire, discipline, the journey, not the destination, love of the process, not the outcome, and just getting freaking jacked and shredded, because that's cool too. Mm-hmm. Check us out at 3dmusclejourney.com. All of us are on Instagram. Myself, I'm Helms 3DMJ on Instagram. And if you want to nerd out with me and get #science, definitely check out Monthly Applications in Strength Sport and the Muscle and Strength Pyramid books.
Nailed that, bro. And last thing I would say for the mama's boys out there, if you want to support this show, because we're growing, we're taking over as the world's best, worst podcast of all time. Move on over, people. You can leave a rating and a review on iTunes. It does help us out. It's also free for those that are interested in more episodes. You can sign up for our Patreon, where we have exclusive new episodes, discounts, and other things for you. You become an official Mama's Boy by joining there. Just on Patreon, search Mama's Boys Podcast. We're on every Tuesdays and Fridays. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. And just remember, we're all going to make it.
We are.